What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And in today's video, what I want to do is go through how we can take the smallest thing, and then this is a transfer from the Deathcore Krieg new plastic release, the minefield transfer. How we can take that and, well, in usual rig fashion, I've just let it snowball and get bigger and bigger and bigger until I've, oh bloody hell, what have we got in front of us? There's no diorama build today, but we're going to be using skills that we've been learning and we've been looking at and improving upon in past videos with diorama builds, and we're just going to transfer that over to terrain building because, as I've started saying and noting out to you guys, if you can build a bit of terrain, you can build a diorama, and if you can build a diorama, you can make terrain. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. So it's all come from this transfer sheet here. Those three little diamond shapes and the two rectangles next to each other, the big red ones, you can't miss them. They've got skull and crossbones on them, for God's sake. Now that we've got our starting point, and the ominous they have told me before that that is a good place to start. So what we need to do now is grab our Amazon cardboard, which they so lovingly hand out for free to all us hobbyists that order absolute useless crap off of Amazon day in, day out. We're going to measure up the size of our transfers, and then I'm going to turn them into signposts, because I could stick them on to like a wall or a barrage or something along those lines, but I want them to stand out a little bit more, so it's emphasizing the point that this is what I want you to see. It's a minefield. There we go. So it's nice and obvious for everyone. So now we've got our sign backs all cut out. We're just going to grab some toothpicks, trim them down to size, super glue them to the back, and that's our signposts all ready to go. After that, what we're going to do is just grab some more of this lovely Amazon cardboard and cut out a rough shape of what we want these to be going on. So I'm thinking, you know how we get like the usual, like the barrels or the pipes that we're going away, so a bit of scattered terrain. That's what I'm going to turn these into. So a little bit of hard to pass or difficult terrain, whatever it is, light cover, light terrain. I'm still new to all the rules. I don't know them all yet. Every time someone says, oh, that's dense cover, that, I look at them and then just give them a big old blank stare and then nod in agreement. Anyway, next what we're going to be doing is just grabbing our sculptor mold and also our little bits that we've got in the background there. So we've got our tank traps and our dragon's teeth, which is going to be going into this mold, onto the terrain to just give it some features and to make it look a little bit more, oh, don't go that way, it's a minefield. So blending it in with its surroundings. Now that I'm doing that, I'm just going to turn on the montage mode. Due to poor staffing quality, I was unable to film the creation of these barrels, but here's some I made earlier. Effectively what I've done is I've taken some sculptor mould, shoved them to the bottom, pushed it right in. Once that dried, put some Mod Podge over to get a seal, and then add some neon green ink into some resin, fill them up until they spill over to give that rundown effect, and here they are. I think they look quite nice. They're just brass copper pipe connectors, and they fit perfectly, and they actually quite a nice little scale to the models, as you can see just there. So making mistakes is a pretty big thing in life. If we don't make mistakes, we've got nothing to learn from, and that is exactly what I've done with these coffee stirrers here. My plan was to make a crate that had been, sort of bodged together. It's probably been put together by some plebs or people that don't really understand what they're doing, because, it's the 40k universe. They're not that intelligible. So I thought if I just do some rough estimates on measurements, slap them together, I can make it a rough cut looking box or crate. Didn't quite go to plan, so when I'd assembled it all and was trying to put it together, I kind of just got a bit frustrated with it. So I gave it a smack, gave it the finger, and went for the next best thing and realised, I can turn this into some sort of wall or barricade. So that's what I've done, and I think happy accident. Wasn't exactly what I was going for, but I wanted some line of sight blocking cover, and well, I still got it. Now all that needed doing was it needed to be a little bit more stable at the bottom, so I've done that with 2 more coffee stirrers, and then I've put a wash of Valraks Earthshade and Burnt Umber ink over the top of it to just give it a little bit extra. It doesn't need that much more. I didn't need to paint it up from scratch. And there we are, a little bit of line of sight blocking terrain. Now, what I'm going to do is take everything that we've been doing so far and just upscale it. I want to build a building that I can move around, have in the centre or onto the side, have it as an objective, whatever I fancy doing with it. And I don't really build a lot of buildings because I don't like building them, because I'm crap at building them. But you're never going to get better if you don't try. So what I'm going to do is just throw everything to the wind, all the caution, and just try and do something. So I'm going to use some of that foam board that I bought a while back for my Krieg diorama. That turns out you can't put this stuff through a foam cutter because it's got the plastic on it, and it will, don't do it. So I've got this stuff. It was expensive. I need to use it. And here we go. Let's try and make ourselves a building. Now with this Vallejo texture paint, all I am going to say is if you put a couple of layers on and you stipple it all on, you get this, how do I explain it? Post-war prefabs, which I'm sure you all had at either your primary or secondary school. If you were British, you certainly know exactly what I mean. It's fantastic for hiding those mistakes on the corners where things haven't quite lined up, where my measurements were crap. And yeah, I quite like the effect. It's nostalgic. So the thing is, it's okay not to finish a project. Now, I know I've just said, oh, I want to build a building, but I've built most of it, but I don't know what I want to do with it fully. So I'm going to leave it here. And I'm going to come back to it soon, I'm sure. I might come back to it in the next video. I might come back to it next month. But I want you guys to be... It's not just you. Everyone does it. It's okay to put a project to one side and just finish.